He came into my cell this morning. No knock, no announcement, just the approaching beat of nailed boots on a concrete floor, the oiled fuss of several keys and several locks, then the door swinging open, and Davies entering with a casual, off-hand saunter that contrasted with the military stiffness of the armed guards who preceded him. I was still in bed at this point, even though it was several hours after breakfast, and out of a sort of panic I decided to feign sleep and lay there with my face half turned into the pillow, allowing a little dribble of saliva to roll off my lolling tongue. "Lieutenant Brill," he said, in quietly amused officer tones, making it obvious that he recognized my fakery. "Your snoring is most convincing, but I could see that your eye was open as I entered the room. The problem of pretending to be asleep is having to carry through the whole charade of waking up, which is somewhat harder to fake. How should one play it? The sudden startled bolt into the vertical, or the long, slow dredging of the self from the depths of dreamlessness? I went for the slower option, gradually lifting my head from the pillow, sucking in my remaining spit, and blinking in the glare of Davies' uniform. He was in full officer dress, Sam Brown, brassoed buttons, a strip of medals, pips. He held his peaked cap beneath his left arm, along with a cardboard folder of documents. He smelt of snuffed candles. "So sorry if I've disturbed your sleep, but I thought you would be up and about by now. I would call back later, but I'm rather rushed. Would you mind getting up and dressed so that we can talk properly?" I looked around for my clothes. I had rather carelessly left them in a heap on the floor by the bottom of the bed. I had nothing on beneath my blanket. It had been a stiflingly hot night. Davies followed my gaze and recognized my concern. Wordlessly, I hinted that he might do me the favor of picking up my clothes and passing them to me. He, in turn, gestured for one of the guards to do the deed, and the fellow promptly shouldered his Tommy gun and bent down to pick up my things, handling them with an arm's-length distaste and depositing them on my bed. Seeming to think that this was sufficient, all three stood in a row and watched me like an audience at a late-night cabaret. "Am I allowed no privacy?" I said. Davies smiled. "After all these years in the army, you expect privacy?" He indicated with a wave of the fingertips that the guards could wait outside, and when they had gone, he turned half away so that he was facing the little window, high in the wall, which revealed nothing but sky. I struggled to dress while concealed beneath my blanket. Davies spoke without looking at me. "This obstinate modesty of yours is rather touching. It's not something I would have expected of you, not with your record." "I don't know what you mean." Davies went over to the small bare table and placed his folder there. "Though, on the other hand, perhaps your work in the camouflage corps has given you an instinctive urge for concealment. I imagine to be a successful camoufleur, one must have a predilection for privacy, to be obsessive about it, even. It seems to go against the natural instincts of display and advertisement, the urge to announce one's existence to the world. Did you ever struggle with that contradiction?" By now, I had pulled on my trousers and the dirty pullover that was too hot for the room, but they would supply me with nothing else. Davies' remarks about concealment had put me half in mind of presenting my naked self to him, dropping the blanket and standing to attention by my bed, everything on display. How would he have liked that, I wondered. The only contradiction I've struggled with is that of a soldier who has served his country with distinction in one of the cruelest theatres of war and now finds himself incarcerated in a dirty little cell for no good reason at all. That's not just a contradiction, but a damned affront. An insult. "Sit," Davies said, pointing to the bed. I had taken some steps forward and had raised my voice. I must have looked as if I was about to lose my temper. He reminded me that the guards were outside, and I sat meekly on the bed while he leafed through some of the documents he'd extracted from his folder. "By the way," I said, "I think it's quite ridiculous that you should think it necessary to have an armed escort when you come to my cell. What sort of person do you think I am?" Davies smiled again. "That is precisely what I'm here to find out. In the meantime, you mustn't mind the guards. This is a high-security establishment. Armed guards are the norm." "And what have I done that is so dangerous that I need to be locked up for 24 hours a day, with a guard outside my door?" "The charges have been explained to you, have they not?" "They are absurd charges. And what do you think I'm going to do? Escape? You think I'll just disappear?" "Well," Davies laughed, "that is your job, as you put it yourself. You make things disappear. Whole armies, so you claim. What leads